internship graduation ceremony, and we have highlights from Independence Day celebrations in Tobago. All these stories and more when Let's Talk Tobago returns. Stay with us.
Minutes from the cruise port, Comfort Inn and Suites pairs a convenient location with premium amenities, so you're ready to take on the day. Highlights of the brand new hotel include a rooftop pool and restaurant with sparkling ocean views, a full-service spa and modern fitness center, free Wi-Fi, and daily complimentary breakfasts. There's also spacious guest rooms and suites. Comfort Inn and Suites, a better us for the best of you.
So in our first story this week, we tell you how Tobago continues to make headway in its efforts towards eliminating gender-based violence. Here's more from Omadaro Mills.
Tobago now has 25 UN Foundation's facilitators who are equipped to educate others about gender-based violence. They're also able to give guidance on preventative measures regarding gender-based abuse. Armed with their new skills, graduates are grateful to have participated in this UN Women Foundation's program Facilitators Training.
We looked at some of the cultural impacts of gender and how even our own society impacts how gender is seen. So we looked at the role of men and women, and even from a young age, the roles of boys and girls, different things that are frowned upon with boys, frowned upon with girls. I think it was very important because a lot of times we look at gender-based violence on the surface, like thinking that someone is probably just angry with another person and acting out. But when you look at these kind of underlying issues, you realize that it's more deeper than just someone deciding to act out.
Previous set of buzzwords were reducing violence against women and girls. Before it became a gender thing that is now more all-encompassing, it started off as a movement towards reducing violence against women and girls. And as we did this work, it became globally clear that in order to treat with violence against women and girls, we've got to incorporate boys and men. This workshop allows us to equip potential facilitators to appropriately and comprehensively conduct gender and gender-based violence training in emotionally safe ways. This program is but one of the many gender-sensitive initiatives that the division continues to implement, many of which are centered on the holistic development of our country as we streamline and implement best practices monitored by Gay Peoples of the National Policy on Gender and Development and the United Nations Development Programme Sustainable Development Goals 5 and 10.
The intent of the program is to nurture the abilities of positive change agents and increase the number of people who are able to eliminate gender-based abuse. I'm Amadaro Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
So in this next story, we take you to the 4th Financial Literacy Secretariat's Youth Biz Virtual Summer Camp closing ceremony. Do enjoy.
With the help of a dynamic team of facilitators and support from various organizations in the financial and business sector, Youth Biz has been able to provide this year 72 young persons between the ages of 13 to 18 with the practical financial and business tools required to build financially successful lives in the future. Through the use of virtual workshops and presentations, campers spend the first few days of camp learning about the fundamentals of financial literacy, such as budgeting, saving, financial planning, responsible decision-making, and personal money management.
This year's camp is aptly themed Unlock Your Creative Genius. This theme is important and timely in that it highlights the need for our young people to be creative and innovative.
So many of our people have many subjects, but have very poor business acumen, very poor business skills. And we take for granted that business must be taught. There is a faulty assumption that somehow you wake up one day and you're just going to be good at business. That's not how it works. People who are excellent at business tend to find time to study their craft. What you youngsters are getting is a kind of education we did not get in high school. We had to learn by whoops or vaps or by accident, by trial and error. Nobody placed us to sit down and insisted on some of the things that you are being taught. You are coming away from this with a bank account.
When you think about the Tobago Regional Health Authority, you think about nurses, doctors, and the patients, but it's much more than that. And over 50 interns recently found this out as they gained valuable work experience. Here's more in this story. Take a look.
Shanika Adams is an aspiring doctor, currently pursuing a medical degree at the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine. So 9 weeks of work experience under the Tobago Regional Health Authority's summer internship program was an ideal fit for her, along with 52 other interns during the July-August vacation.
I would say it was enlightening and eventful. We did a lot of activities, workshops on Fridays, as well as I had the opportunity to work in the A&E, Accident and Emergency at Roxborough Hospital, as well as MOPC, which is a medical outpatient clinic. For a lot of persons who may or may not know what field they want to enter into, it helps you to discover your niche. At the TRHA, it doesn't only consist of, as I first thought, of the medical faculty and the medical sector. It also includes human resources, finance, accounts, education, and as such you have different opportunities to explore.
I worked at the Department of Environment at the Scarborough General Hospital. It was a very eventful experience and I enjoyed it. I was mainly grateful for gaining experience in the leadership aspect, because leadership is a quality that would push youths forward to do great things. And time management is also hand in hand with leadership. A good leader is a good time manager.
The synergy between your studies and the internship is crucial in nurturing your passion and fueling your professional ambitions. Interns were able to apply their theoretical knowledge to practical tasks, but also foster a sense of relevance and enthusiasm for their chosen fields. This alignment also benefited the TRHA, as interns are better equipped to make valuable contributions.
I hope that this experience that you've had would allow you to critically determine whether being within the health field really is what you love to do. Ensure that wherever you go, ensure that what you do, ensure that what becomes your life journey is something that you actually want to do. And ensure that it is something that you enjoy doing, and coincidentally, it is wonderful that you get paid to do what you enjoy doing.
The internship program included tours to various medical facilities and weekly life skills sessions. It was restarted this year under the theme, Investing in Youth, Building with Us. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
So we have to take a break right now, but when we return, we have more stories to share with you. Stay with us because Let's Talk Tobago will be right back. Assemblyman for Bethel Newgrange, Terrence Baines, hosted his second annual Ball Blast and Food Fest at the Montgomery Recreational Ground recently. We were there and we have all the highlights in this story.
The district of Bethel Newgrange is strengthening its community through sport and food. The second edition of the Baines Ball Bash and Food Fest took place at the Montgomery Recreational Grounds, which hosted a three-a-side basketball competition, netball, and small goal football competitions.
This ground is a kind of central place. It's one of the most trafficked ground in Tobago. And I thought about what we could do, and we know the power of sport. You know, when we started last year, so I thought about we doing these sporting disciplines and so on. And we did everything one day. We had everything happening simultaneously and so on. There were much more people and so on. And I said, you know, that it seems that this could be a signature event for the district.
The second day climaxed with a special charity cooking competition, which challenged 4 teams to deliver their best on a particular dish.
Cooking pork, chicken, and fish. I also basically doing a fried pork. And the guy did so nice, eh? So you gonna love it.
We love it. Bring community together and everybody a team spirit here. Good food, pepper pork, smoked pork, stew pork, stew chicken, dumpling, roast breadfruit. See the works. Yeah, fish, it's a fish rasta man. Fish, yeah, cuckoo. So everything there, we have everything.
We're cooking this pork by average. The only rasta not tasting this pork today. Well, not eating pork. So we presentation is a pig we make, and so we deal with the pig today, Rastafari. All of them ain't gonna kill me. They gonna forgive me today. Today's a competition.
So what style we put on today? Where's on the menu today?
Well, we doing the pork judging, and we do the vegetable rice, and we have some dumpling. So we curry stew with pork, and the secret, I smoke it first. That's the secret.
What we get today on we menu, well, it's stew pork, curry stew chicken, a curry coconut fish, with some nice fried rice, some dumpling.
After teams were judged, their meals were made free to patrons. Assemblyman Bishop Terence Baines says the goal of the event is to create havens which help foster communities and families. The Ball Bash and Food Fest also had activities such as free face painting and bouncy castle for the kids. And for the much bigger kids and adults, they tried their luck at catching a pig in a greasy pit. I'm Ryan McCool for Let's Talk Tobago.
And in our final story, we give you an Independence Roundup with Ryan McCool. We hope you enjoy. And that's a wrap for this edition of Let's Talk Tobago. Thank you so much for joining us at Comfort Inn and Suites in Scarborough. Remember to follow us on all of our social media handles, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook. On behalf of all of us at the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly, we'll see you again next week, but from a different location. Bye-bye.
You're watching Let's Talk Tobago.
Expression House Media.
Wait, how are this? How are you going to so? How you feeling your clothes on my side of the line?
Kitty is just put it.
Take them off. You know this is my side of the line? Don't put nothing on it. Take them off on my side of the line. My girl, Mr. Take them off.
I ain't understand.
Just take them off. Me know why you're not my girl. Take them off now. No make me come back here and find your clothes them from my side of the line. You know.
Ah.
I know I got some dirty laundry, but this time to clean up my life. Lord, you know I'm guilty. If you take a look inside, you know some of the mess that me got on my mind. Oh, filthy. Me need some heavenly detergent to clean up my life, because me got some dirty laundry. Me really need a spin and a dry. Not like that dirty lifestyle, no. Not like that dirty lifestyle. I'll be honest, sometimes me get vexed and me don't. But dirty man can wash away the liquor with soap. Wash me mouth from them dirty jokes. In your presence is where I need to sow. Me why you protect me from the negative friends. Clean up my life and give me a rent. Put sin to dry out on the fence. Lord, my life, make it make sense. Some dirty laundry, dirty laundry. So Father, can you clean me? Ooh, I know I'm guilty. I'm guilty. So Father, forgive me. Got some dirty laundry. So Father, can you clean me? I know I'm guilty. So Father, forgive me. Lord, I know that I got to be wise. 'Cause ever since the day me get baptized, you open up my eyes and make me garment white. Oh Lord, fresh and clean. Make me separate my friend them from my foes. 'Cause white can't mix with colored clothes. Some doors in my life need to close. Not just the doors, but even windows. Well, I need to practice so I may preach. No great, send me the spiritual bleach. 'Cause so much I get to youth, me need to teach. And if it's so me can call myself the ghetto breed. Got some dirty laundry. So Father, can you clean me? I know I'm guilty. So Father, forgive me. Got some dirty laundry, dirty laundry. So Father, can you clean me? I know I'm guilty. So Father, forgive me. I got some dirty laundry, dirty laundry. So Father, can you clean me? I know I'm guilty. So Father, forgive me. Got some dirty laundry, dirty laundry. So Father, can you clean me? I know I'm guilty. So Father, forgive me. Clean me up and wash me out. Clean me up and wash me out. Not just my thoughts, but the thing me talk about. Up and wash me out. Clean me up and wash me out. Clean me up and wash me out. I really need a washing up. I really need a washing
up. Afternoon, Miss Yvette.
Good morning, morning, good morning, morning. Put a smile on your Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning.
Good morning, Tobago, and welcome this morning to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. It is a beautiful Thursday morning. We're really happy to be in your company. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. I'm your host today, Rhea Richardson George. Julian is out for the rest of the week, but hopefully we will be seeing him pretty soon. Viewers, it's a good day to be alive, and we thank God for life this morning. Before we get into what's happening in and around Tobago, Trinidad, the Caribbean, and what's coming up on the program, we want to head over into news in 90 seconds with
The
Diana.
news in 90 seconds is brought to you by Flow, working for you on Tobago's newest fiber network.
Thank you, Ria. I am Biana Berbner, and here is your news in 90 seconds for Thursday, 14 September 2023. Arrangements are being made to facilitate meeting between the Prime Minister, the Minister of Works and Transport, the Tobago business community, and several stakeholders. The news came hours after the Tobago Division of Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce called for a meeting with the government to address the sea bridge problems. Tobago's business community has been under strain for the past 3 weeks following a fire in the engine room of the Cabo Star, the vessel responsible for cargo shipment between the islands. The MV Emprendedora was procured as an interim measure. The multi-stakeholder meeting is expected to occur early next week. A coach has been charged with the incident assault in Tobago, with an incident allegedly occurring on October 26, 2022. On that date, a 20-year-old woman received a call from a man who picked her up and took her to Signal Hill. There, he allegedly touched her inappropriately. He was placed on $80,000 bail. The accused is set to return to court on October 9, 2023. The investigation was overseen by Superintendent Claire Guy Allen and Inspector Miller. And finally, High Court Judge Frank C. Prasad has criticized the justice system's delay and questionable practices. In a recent ruling, he accused the judiciary of hindering the efficient resolution of cases. He cited problems such as a reliance on contract positions, which led to the staff turnover and a lack of experienced court staff. C. Prasad also commended court closures, particularly the sudden shutdown of the San Fernando High Court without consulting judges or stakeholders. He called for urgent reform, emphasizing that meaningful action, transparency, and accountability are to improve justice dispensation in the country. And that concludes your news in 90 seconds.
Tobago, after freeness is more speed and better TV. Get a free Samsung smartphone and free installation, plus 200 megabits per second, Paramount Plus, and more for only $299 with a select 200 plan from Flow. Visit online at discoverflow.co today.
Viewers, welcome back this morning. We're still here. It's the Tobago Updates morning show. Thank you so much there, Biana. And we're going to head on over into our birthday segment at this time.
This is your birthday shoutouts on Tobago Updates, sponsored by KFC.
And we start things off this morning celebrating Dejer Saul. Happy birthday going out to you this morning, Dejer Saul, from your family and friends and from all of us here at Tobago Updates. Desron Phillips celebrating a birthday. Desron, happy birthday going out to you. And lots of love from all of us here at Tobago Updates. Have a great one. And this is Phyllis Grant. This is the lady who usually takes care of my hair. Phyllis Grant celebrating her birthday, and she is not shy about color. So Phyllis, happy birthday going out to you, and lots of love from me to you and from all of us here at Tobago Updates. Have a great one.
Birthday shoutouts on Tobago Updates, sponsored by KFC.
From the experts that created the Zinger sandwich comes the KFC Crispy Barbecue Zinger.
The only one I see is you.
Cheddar cheese, crispy onions, the most delicious Kentucky Fried Chicken, and barbecue sauce. Get ready for a whole new level of flavor.
Viewers, welcome back this morning to the Tobago Updates morning show. So just to let you know, viewers, what's coming up on the program this morning, we start things off chatting with Dr. Vishnu Raghunath, who is a political scientist attached, who is also a lecturer at UE. And this morning, the focus is on the political collaboration needed to battle crime in Trinidad and Tobago. We continue the discussion chatting with Dion Brebner, Environmental Officer 2, attached to the Division of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development. And the focus will be on the International Coastal Cleanup 2023. And then viewers, then we're going to shift gears just a little bit as we focus on some lovely ladies who are going to be coming into the studio as we focus on the second annual plus size football event. So that's coming up on the program this morning. So we invite you this morning, viewers, even as we head on over to Tobago in Focus, share the live, share the live, share the live.
One of the major learning curves encountered during the COVID-19 pandemic was the increased use of innovation and technology to conduct daily functions. This major hurdle affected the country's education sector tremendously, with teachers, students, and parents having to quickly find ways to continue teaching and learning using these means. Post-pandemic, the Division of Education, Research and Technology is finding ways to integrate online and in-person learning and teaching, thus establishing the Hybrid Education Committee.
A committee was put together, made up of persons within the Division of Education, principals, parents, etc., a large, varied stakeholder group, and we are working towards developing a very pragmatic policy guideline to help us to utilize all of the positive things that we got through the pandemic, along with our face-to-face.
This new initiative seeks to reduce teaching and learning loss due to several factors, such as unpredictable weather patterns or another pandemic situation. From early childhood to tertiary level education are represented on the committee, with multi-departmental input and expertise from the division. Technical advisor from DIRTEC, Natasha Second, assured that this initiative is not just another talk shop, and the committee is well on its way to fulfill a seamless integration among all educational institutions on the island.
We wanted to look at all of the challenges and place a solution for each of them. So the guideline or the policy guidelines will meet all of the challenges that we could perceive of.
Ms. Second revealed that the committee, formed in April 2023, has a 6-month implementation deadline, which will include a pilot project in selected schools and the delivery of the completed policy and guidelines.
Viewers, welcome back this morning. We should have on the line with us at this time Dr. Vishnu Raghunath, who is a political scientist, lecturer, University of the West Indies. And this morning, viewers, our focus is on the political collaboration needed to battle crime. Good morning and welcome to you, Dr. Raghunath.
Good morning. Pleasure to be here.
It's good to have you on the program with us. Now, Dr. Raghunath, let's jump right on into things. Now, you would have agreed quite recently with the statements made by President Christine Kangaloo for government and opposition to work together to try to curb crime. You also urged the inclusion of a third-party group, the independent senators. One would have thought here that you would have suggested, well, we hear a lot about national security forces coming together. But in this case, you are encouraging the political entities to come together. Why is that?
Definitely, crime is at a situation. I mean, the country is in the grips of fear for all that is happening in crime. And regardless of whether we are in Trinidad or in Tobago, I mean, the murder rate in Tobago has gone up significantly this year compared to other years. And in Trinidad, it's just the same old. We've gone. Yes, the police commissioner can boast that we've reduced the murder rate this year by 10 from, or less than 10 from what we were at this date last year and so on. But the factor of the matter remains that the country is in the grips of fear. There's panic all around. Crime is not being abated and people are concerned. Now, question, how do we move from here? How do we get to get some degree of control or to arrest this crime explosion? And the point about it here is simply you need some legislative support for the security forces to guide us in trying to reduce that level of crime. The unfortunate thing is that because of our antagonistic partisan positions, there's that concern as to whether or not we'll be able to get the kind of support from the legislation. Now, we remember, for instance, a few years ago, 2 years ago, I think it was, when the bail bill was brought to the parliament.
Yes.
And the bail bill was defeated in the Senate, bearing in mind that it was the independent senators who did not support the government in passing that bail bill, which is, one would have expected that or at least the government was counting on the independent benches to pass that bail bill, particularly so when they had reduced the special majority, and they were now working with the lower level special majority, and they couldn't get to that special majority. You need that special majority if you need to implement certain activities and actions and programs that will curtail the rights of the citizenry, and the government could not even get the independent benches to support them on that. And the question is why? The simple answer to that question was simply because we tend to want to think that, or at least to some extent, there's the school of thought that the government knows exactly what it wants to do and what it should do. But the question is that the best option for the country? Because if they could not convince the independent benches to support a piece of legislation, then something is actually wrong with the proposals. And this is where we need to have the bipartisan approach, where we could get people from both sides to sit down and think about it and come up with a strategy, come up with policies, come up with prospective legislation that could assist the police in doing their duties. Now, one of the reasons why I would think that the bail bill did fail in the last attempt at going through the parliament was simply because the government had refused to actually bring to the parliament any data, hard data, to say what does the denial of bail mean for criminals in the country. Bearing in mind that in the past we've had the denial of bail, but of course the government was simply saying, well, look, we had it before and why we can't have it again? But bring hard data. And these are these kinds of things that we need for the government to do, and to hold hands, not only with the opposition, because they are, when I say the opposition, I'm talking about the official opposition, not only with the official opposition, the UNC, but rather with all sectors of the society. The government has spoken about tripartite arrangements and so on with regard to Labour, and Labour pulled out. Why? Why did Labour pull out? Because Labour felt they were not being respected. And that's part of our problem in our society today. While there are different entities and different groups within our society, we need to give and respect to each and every group because they belong here, legitimately so, legally so, and they have a voice. Not only they have a voice, they have an opinion. I have always said, and I come from a local government background, where I have always said that people on the ground knows the solutions to their problems. The only problem is that they don't have the mechanisms, the tools, the instruments to implement those solutions. Look at the crime situation. Every day we have people making suggestions as to what should be done. Do we hear any serious consideration to those suggestions, or is it because there's opposition voices, and because it's opposition voices, we don't take them on? And that is where the problem arises, because there's no monopoly by the government that they alone know what is right. They alone know how to solve the problem. If there was that monopoly, they should have solved the problem a long time ago, but they don't. And that is why it is necessary that we have an all-inclusive government, where the government, not only with the official government in office, but rather the government with the official opposition, as well as the other elements in the society, who have an opinion. For instance, and this is where I mean, I was a little bit, not a little bit, but very disappointed. Earlier this year, when the government had initially said, we're going to have a consultation on crime. And I said, and it was, I mean, I was happy that the government said, we're going to have a consultation on crime. But lo and behold, within a matter of weeks of having said that, we heard the announcement. Well, it's not going to be a Trinidad consultation. It's going to be a CARICOM consultation, which would have now brought in a lot of other people who can't solve their problems in their own countries, coming here to gripe about the problems. But we also, all we heard was the problems. Where were the solutions coming from? And this is why I was very disappointed when the government went with the CARICOM consultation. Not that it was necessary, but rather we should have started at home, have a local consultation, have an idea of what the people in Trinidad and Tobago is proposing and would want to see happen. And then take that as part and parcel of the package of solutions and go forward to CARICOM if you need to go there. But for the time being, we ignored our local population and we ignored any possible suggestions, directions, policy guidelines that could have come from the citizenry in trying to deal with the crime situation in Trinidad. And it is in that context that I said we need that bipartisan approach to dealing with crime, because clearly the government has not been able to come up with workable solutions to arrest the crime challenge that Trinidad and Tobago is facing.
Now, Dr. Raghunath, you have said a lot in that opening. And I want to piggyback from some of the things that you mentioned there. You spoke about the consultation on crime. You spoke about the inclusion of the independent senators and even the people on the ground who may have solutions. What is it that we seem to be missing as a government and as a people, when it comes to crime fighting? Now, we have the IATF, and that is on the national security level. But your call this morning is for the political entities, once again, to come together to discuss and find a way as we move forward to solve the crime situation in Trinidad and Tobago. What is it that we have been missing all these years?
See, one of the things that we've been missing is that, and if I may wear my hat as a political scientist and a lecturer at the university, one of the things we have been missing is simply this thing called governance. We have had government, where government is making policy and doing this and doing that. But governance means that inclusivity, that ability to embrace civil society, to embrace the opposition, to embrace the community at large. And that is the one thing that is missing. Now, apart from that, one thing that is missing, there's another thing that we have to treat with, and that's the issue of accountability. We put people in offices, and are we holding them to account? Are we holding them to account to say, give us some key performance indices as to what have you achieved, and where and what do you expect to achieve, and how are we going to account for these things that you don't achieve? And those are things that we don't have. For instance, there's the concern, for instance, I think it was just after the opening of Parliament on Monday, when the media asked the Prime Minister, would you rate the Minister of National Security and rate the Police Commissioner? And he says, no, I will not do that. But in saying that you will not do that, are you now telling them, well, we have no key performance indices that we want to measure you by? Are you saying that there's no stipulated measurement? I remember a prime minister in the past said that all you needed to be a minister, all that was needed to make somebody a minister was that the person should have a level head and common sense. In other words, they don't necessarily need to have any education, any other thing, common sense and a level head. My question is, do some of our ministers and some of those people who actually lead some institutions have that level of common sense and level-headedness that we need to deal with it? Or are their heads swollen so much so that they think that they alone knows and have all the answers? And that's part of the thing. That's part of the governance challenge, because there's government and there's governance, and we seem to be focused on government and not the governance aspect of it. So that's where we probably need to start. And that's why I talk about inclusivity. That's why I talk about accountability, transparency. All of those are part and parcel of that governance paradigm.
Okay, well, Dr. Raghunath, my director, is indicating that we are out of time. But very quickly here, as we are wrapping up with you, what would you like to see? What is your encouragement this morning?
I would like to see the suggestion that we had a public consultation on crime come to again, this time focusing on Trinidad and Tobago. Let's hear what the churches have to say. Let's hear what the civil society organizations, the NGOs have to say. Let's hear what the opposition have to say. Let's say it in public and then put the pressure on the government to now take what is best, what is workable, and bring it to the parliament, pass legislation, and give the security forces that power to deal with that crime situation.
Thank you so much this morning for chatting with us, Dr. Bishnu Raghunath, political scientist, lecturer, University of the West Indies. We appreciate your words this morning. Thank you so much.
It's been my pleasure, and a good morning. Good day to your viewers.
All right. Well, viewers, thank you so much for that. We're going to switch gears when we come back this morning as Dion Brebner is going to be joining us. And we're going to focus on the International Coastal Cleanup 2023. Share the live, share the live, share the live.
Put a smile on your face.
Somebody just scream, revive us!
Glow Nation on Saturday, 16th September. Experience a revival featuring Grammy Award winner Ty Tribbett and his full band. Glow Fest, all at Sure Park Complex, Tobago, alongside Ezekiel, Chantel Lindsay, Gates Praise, Mark Isaacs, and Blessed Messenger. Showtime 6 p.m. Doors open at 5 p.m. Early bird tickets $200. Group of 10 pay $250 each. General admission $300. At the door $350. Children under 10 free. Tickets available at Sure Park Complex box office. Dominion Appliances, Scipio Trace Canby, Pablo's Supermarket Argyle, Diesel's Tile and Ceiling Center Bon Accord, Isaac 98.1 FM Port of Spain, Ario Auto El Socorro, Evansa Jewelers Chaguanas, and online at tovatickets.com. For more info, follow Glow Entertainment TT on Facebook and Instagram. On Saturday, 16th September, Sure Park Complex, Tobago. The revival is coming. A praise and worship encounter. Experience the worship. Experience the praise. Glow Fest.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Viewers, welcome back this morning. Just before we head on over into our next interview, we want to send a special good morning this morning to Ruston Wood. Good morning to you, and we trust that you have a really great day today. Viewers, we are chatting at this time with Dion Brebner, Environmental Officer 2, Division of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development. This morning, viewers, our focus is on the International Coastal Cleanup 2023. Good morning and welcome to you, Dion Brebner.
Good morning, Ria. Good morning to you and your team, and good morning to your viewership and your listenership.
All right. No, it's good to have you on the program. We want to jump right into things this morning. Now, we're talking about the cleanup, coastal cleanup for 2023. Remind our viewers this morning the importance of having the coastal areas clean, what it means for us on land, and what it means for those in the sea.
Yes, it's very critical, so very important, VIP. And I just want to give a quick background of the genesis of this commemorative day. So it would have occurred in the US by Miss O'Hara, and she would have been on the beach and she would have observed that there was the poor aesthetics and, you know, the whole health hazard and environmental hazard of being on that particular beach that she was on. So this whole commemorative day started in 1986. Right. So that's just a brief history.
Okay.
It's very important, especially for us as Tobago, because the beaches and our natural resources, that's where our value is.
That's right.
And not only for the tourists, but for us.
Who live here.
And they get to enjoy the aesthetics. And even if you're not going in the water and swimming and stuff, you could just
sit and look at it
and enjoy the audio or the visual, the visual of the beach. And that's very important for mental health, your whole holistic being.
That's right.
And that being in sync with your environment and having a clean and safe environment is critical to optimal human health.
Okay. All right. Now, I'm glad that you mentioned that. Let's get right into the coastal cleanup and the areas that have been targeted for cleanup.
Yes.
All right. Now, I'm looking at the flyer, and I wish we had a Q&A. We had some prizes to give away this morning because, you know, we're looking at the names of some of these beaches and bays as they are located in different communities.
Yes.
And I am almost certain that I am not the only one being shocked and surprised at the names of these bays and beaches that are in these areas. Okay, so we're looking at, you go ahead, we're looking at Plymouth.
So on Saturday, we'll be focused on Corland Bay, Plymouth, then Little Rockley Bay, Lambo, Ministers Bay, Bacalet, Carapace Bay, Belgarden, Princess Bay, Roxborough, and Tyrrells Bay, Speyside. And then, of course, we are very all-inclusive at our division. So on Sunday, so those of you who can't make it on the Saturday, we would have included the Sunday to accommodate you. And those beaches that would be targeted would be Lagaira, Kilgwin, and Sandy Point. That is before the airport and after the airport runway.
Okay, and that's just to be very,
that's just to be very clear. Yes, correct.
All right, now let's talk about the groups. And is it that there are already groups assigned to the cleanup, or can entities, youth groups, youth clubs decide, look, we want to be a part of this, let's get on board?
Yes, yes, indeed. And the awesome result of this whole ICC is that we get that strong network of the new groups and old groups that usually come together to volunteer on these days. And that's very important. And I must mention as well, Ms. Marissa Mohammed from the Caribbean Network for Integrated Rural Development and the co-chair, because out of all of this, there is a Trinidad and Tobago National Planning Committee. Right? And they plan and, of course, execute the operations for ICC annually. And from the Tobago perspective, we have the Tobago Planning Committee and some of the stakeholders you would have seen listed on the flyer as well. That's important. So the networking has been very, very, very good. And we continue to increase the number of volunteers annually. And that's important.
Now, this would have taken place before.
Yes, correct.
You've had this type of coastal cleanup before.
Yes, indeed.
Give us an idea this morning of the type of debris that you all would have. And I'm sorry, I'm saddened by this, but the type of debris that you would have collected on along the shore and even within, you know, on these bays and these beaches over a period of time.
Yes, and this is the sticking point for waste management as well. Waste management, another critical area for Trinidad and Tobago. So whenever you're having your events, please ensure that you recycle. We have the Tobago Recycling Resource Initiative,
Yes.
Right? They are on board. That is under the managing director, Mr. Sean Roberts.
Yes.
I think he has been on the program before.
Several times.
Right.
One of our
and
very good friends.
we need to be very serious about recycling and upcycling. Right? So of course, and that is the consequence, as a consequence of the question he asks. So the main offenders on the beach in terms of material would be the plastic bottles, the caps, plastic bottle caps,
yes,
the glass bottles, all recyclables, right? And currently we are in the process of recycling at Bay5 Tadco. So please be informed, please be fully aware, get your recyclables and get it done. We in Tobago, we have been afforded the opportunity to recycle. Please, let's take full advantage of it. Yeah.
And I like what you did there. You needed to speak directly to our viewers.
Yes,
so you shifted, you definitely. So this was a message to our viewers.
That's one of the key messages, yeah.
Yeah. Now, when I look at some of the beaches, and you correct me if I'm wrong, not all of our beaches have bins placed. So the onus really is on the beach goer.
Correct.
The person planning to enjoy the day at the beach to ensure that they've got a bag, they've got something to collect their trash. We do not do that. We're not a people. We're not trained to do that.
Right.
If we're honest with ourselves, we're not trained to. And I don't want to take the responsibility away from us as individuals, but should there also be bins put in positions or in places, strategic positions for beach goers? Because of course, when you're going to the beach, you're eating. And I usually say, collect your garbage, take it back with you. You be responsible. But not everyone would think like that. So should there be bins placed at all of the beaches?
I'm a firm believer of what you said before. I believe it is the primary responsibility is yours. It's ours. Right? We are the ones going to the beaches, get a bag, a recyclable bag, and return with your waste.
Yes.
Yes, who are you leaving it there for?
Yeah.
You understand? Return with your waste. So I am a strong believer that it's our country, our responsibility, each and every one of us, individual responsibility. And just to tap into what you said with the training, the good thing with that is that mindsets can be changed.
Agreed.
So what you learned, and usually some of the times is always the wrong thing we're learning, that you're so accustomed doing the wrong thing that you think that that is the right thing. So the blessing is that the mindsets can be changed and you can unlearn what you learned, which was incorrect.
Okay.
Right? But I do also believe, just to tack on, is that, some responsibility should be placed on all sectors.
Yes.
Right? Because RWL, they do have recyclable bins at strategic points where you can, deposit your material and facilitate easy pickup from their logistics unit to the Bay5 at Tadco.
Okay.
Yes?
All right, granted.
Yes.
Now, how can persons register for this International Coastal Cleanup 2023?
Right, so we have the contacts on the pamphlet as well. So you can contact myself, Miss Dixel Maconi Jones, and she's another arduous worker, very diligent at the department, and I must mention her. And Miss Sabita Mutu, my director, Mr. Linford Beckles, and team Damika Marshall, and everybody. And of course, from the executive go down, Secretary Pantin, Assistant Secretary Tate, Administrator Ms. Sherry and Edward Louis, and the whole team. So far, so good. We're really doing our best to ensure that we have a very successful cleanup, right, and a safe cleanup. So come out, volunteer. And I also want to mention, Rhea, the volunteer data cards. Because not only is this just about picking up the garbage, it's about collecting data.
What sort of data,
Right.
what sort of data do you want to collect and why?
Right, so the data would code for certainty. Data are very important for decision making for the future, right? And a good result, a good outcome from this would have been engaging Recycling, Waste and Logistics Limited to be a part of it, because previously it used to just go straight, all the material used to go straight to the Studley Park landfill. And there was never any recovery of such of the material, which as we see is recyclable or can be upcycled. right? And I always say we in Tobago, we have an advantage. We can use our area as an advantage. So please, Trinidad and Tobago, you always invest in recycling, right? We can do it. We need you. And we have to have all hands on deck to ensure that we continue to keep Tobago in its pristine state. And just to tack on again, I always remember we had a visitor came on a different project, and one of the first compliments or comments rather she made was that she find the island clean. And that is along the main artery coming from the airport, coming all the way
I have heard that before, yes.
So, you know,
Visitors
you feel good
have said,
about
yes,
that, you know,
that
it's
is
like,
true.
wow, it's clean. So we want to thank all the CPEPs, the litter eradication program, everybody, the divisions who are participating in that cleaning exercise routinely. Thank you very much.
And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because there are those who believe that these persons are paid to stand on the roads and do nothing. But at the end of the day, we see the results.
Yes.
We see the results when visitors come by, when we're winning awards. You know, when persons come by and they say, wow, this island is really clean.
Yes.
I mean, there are one or two areas that we know we need to work on, but when they can see it for what it really is, we're really happy.
Yes, and that was a first comment right off as we go in. I was like,
yeah.
Nice.
And I want to say as well here to Secretary Natisha Charles Panton and Assistant Secretary Nigel Tate, you know, I've often realized that they lead by example.
Yes.
So we do know that we expect to see them on Saturday and Sunday.
Yes.
We expect to see them on Saturday and
Sunday.
Sunday.
Out. And even for my site, I must mention Assemblyman Niall George. He's there and he's getting into it and he's nice. So please, men, come out, support, bring the family out. And most people, remember, it's also a fun exercise as well. So yes, while we want to have the data, which codes for certainty and for decision making in the future, that's very important. We also want to get back to that community bond. And your previous segment spoke about crime, and you know, it's just getting back the community into
breaking the mindsets.
Yes, and breaking those mindsets. That's very important.
And education from the earliest levels possible. If we want to break the mindset, you can't start with the older, the more mature folks like me. The more mature folks like me, you've got to start with the younger folks. All right? So,
and remember that, like you said, we have to lead by example.
Yes.
Always act as if there's a camera on you, and let's do what we need to do and keep our beautiful, sweet island of Tobago awesome.
Greatest little island.
The greatest little island, that's right.
That's right. All right, but thank you so much for chatting with us this morning, Dion Brebner, Environmental Officer 2. Viewers, it's all about the International Coastal Cleanup, and you can check out their Facebook page, the division's Facebook page, for more information. Very quickly here, Dion, give us that number to call again.
All right, you can call me at 485-0459 or Mrs. Makoni Jones, 463-8579, or Mrs. Savita Mutu at 684-8448. For the General Division, contact number is 639-1287 from extensions 44150 to 44155.
All right. You got it. Thank you so much there, Dion Brebner, for chatting with us.
Allowing us the opportunity to be on the program. Thank you.
A pleasure indeed.
I appreciate it.
A pleasure indeed. Viewers, we're going to switch gears. We've got a very interesting interview coming up just after the break. You don't want to miss it. We're talking about the second annual plus-size football event. Do I qualify this year? Do I not qualify this year? These ladies are going to tell me whether I've got what it takes to be a part of the team for 2023. So share the live, share the live, share the live.
so your car break down.
Oh, no, not again.
And you're worried paying a wrecker could mean a pocket breakdown too. But when you're insured with Tatil, no stress.
Yes!
A Tatil motor policy has lots of benefits that protect your pocket, like free roadside assistance. That's free 24/7 every time, as many times as you need. Tatil, where people are people. A member of the Ansa McAl Group.
Mount Pleasant Credit Union present the Edgar Davidson Bursary Awards 2023. Awards available are SEA, CSEC, and CAPE. Tertiary, technical and vocational. Your requirements are complete the application form, student's performance report, or transcript. Applicants must be a member or a member whose child wrote an exam in 2023. Forms are available via our website or can be collected at our branch office. For further information, www.mpcutobago.com, marketing at mpcutobago.com, or call us 639-8902 or 8375. Deadlines for submission 15th of September 2023.
There's a new date for Tobago Swim Fest, September 17th, 2023. Come and witness the main event, the 4-kilometer swim from Pigeon Point to Buku Point. More than $25,000 in prizes. It's a family affair, so come out from 11 a.m. on the beautiful Buku Beach. There'll be swimming races, sandcastle building, and seafood on sale. Come and enjoy a fun day at the beach. Calling swimmers from Crown Point to Charlottesville. Registration on the day.
October will never be better with Tobago Carnival Fever. Book your passage and come on over.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules, or if you are having a cooking day off.
Mount Pleasant Credit Union Back to School Loan Promotion. Loans up to $15,000. Requirements: job letter and a payslip no more than 1 month old. Utility bill, copy of book list, salary deduction, 10% down payment for self-employed persons, evidence of income and expenditure, bank statement, 12 to 18 months, other supporting document. Promotion ends October 18. Contact us at 639-8375 or 8108 or check us out on www.mpcutobago.com or email us at loan@mpcutobago.com. Mount Pleasant Credit Union's Back to School Loan Promotion. Inner Health, number 13B, Portmore, Scarborough, Tobago, with over 25 years experience, offering services in and not limited to microscopic blood analysis, reflexology, and the sale of a wide range of organic herbal products used to supplement thyroid, lymphatic, heart, kidney, and brain health, and the male and female reproductive systems. Come and chat with us. Remember, your health is your wealth.
But this place is boring enough. We don't even do nothing. Let me go somewhere now.
I really want some new things, yes? Then look no further. Portmore is the place for you.
Oh, really?
Yes, you can have anything that your heart desires. Take a look for yourselves. A world of endless opportunities. Feeling hungry? Go get something to eat. Books and stationeries, games, and much more. Portmore, the island's beat.
Right now, Tobagonians are just currying down to Bonaccord, right in Stobie Local Road. You know why? To come down and shop at Authentic Builders General Hardware, the only hardware store in Tobago that is giving you guys Trinidad prices. So for instance, such as steel, 1/2 inch and 5/8, $7,895. 5/8 construction ply for $260. Every single thing that you will need to do your home renovation or start your new construction, we have it right here. And to get your quotation, it's very easy. Just WhatsApp us at 272-1990 and we will do your free WhatsApp quotation for you.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Summerama, real steam for the summer standard. Is a dream for the summer. Dreamy, steamy standard. What you have? What you have? All the best deals, no drama. Standard big beat like a hammer. Go tell your friend, tell your papa, tell your mama. We got more, we got more. Standards are what is searching for. Quality brand, discounts galore. New things for the summer, online in store. Summertime is here, so make the most out of it at Standard. Never beating on quality and price. It's nice.
Jimmy's Holiday Resorts has 1, 2, and 3 bedroom, fully self-contained apartments located at the heart of Crown Point. Minutes walk to the popular beaches, restaurants, bars, and the airport. Enjoy our amazing amenities such as fully equipped apartments, complete with Wi-Fi, AC, TV, and a pool, and a mini-mart on the compound. Call 639-8292 or 8929. Jimmy's Holiday Resorts is your family's home away from home.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Our national borders, our first step to security, but a possible access point for guns, drugs, crime. If it does not look right, do the right thing. Call Crime Stoppers anonymously. 800-8477. Report possible border crime.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Viewers, welcome back this morning to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. Do I make the cut this year? Do I not make the cut this year? So we are chatting at this time with Avril Allen, who is the founder of Twinepti. And this morning we're joined by 4 lovely women: Adana Brewster Taylor, Suzanne Murray, Sadisha Thomas, and Margaret Roberts, all plus-size team players, as we focus on the 2nd annual plus-size football event. Ladies, good morning and welcome. Good morning. Good morning. It is good to have you on the program this morning. And viewers, I really want to know if this year I make the cut. My aim is to be on the team, a team this year, 2023. So they'll let me know if I make the cut. If I don't make the cut, but we'll ask them that a little bit later on in the program. All right, so we're going to start with you this morning, Avril. Tell us about the genesis behind this plus-size football event. And I think I remember somewhere along COVID, you and your sister had a lot of free time. So you tell our viewers this morning, what was the genesis behind this?
Well, to be honest, this football event was just a fundraiser last year for the Tobago Carnival. We were looking for a way to raise funds, and we was like, let me do a football event. Let me do a plus-size football event. And when we put it out there, people was like, what? And it was like a joke. But now the football event is an event in the Tobago space that people are looking forward to. Yeah? We gather plus-size women from all over Tobago. And since this event has happened, it has boosted a lot of their morals, their camaraderie, yes, the confidence. And it's an event that we could really put on the calendar for Tobago. Yeah?
Now, we know about the plus-size diva competition, but this was really a first for Tobago.
Yes.
And tell us about because you said, when it started, it boosted their confidence and their morale and their, what was the initial, because you mentioned it seemed like a joke, but when the ladies contacted you, what did they say? What did some of these ladies say to you?
I want to play, I could play. And the first question I asked, can you run?
Well, I guess that's important.
Yeah, can you run?
Kicking a ball is one thing. Yes. Scoring the goal is another.
You could play the football in your mind, but can you run? And when we gathered the first time on the field in Codler Hall, and I saw some of the ladies who are not nowhere near plus size, and it was like, I want to play. Tobago do have this, I need to play. And we encouraged everybody. It was a good event. It was nice.
Do I make...
No, Rhea.
I don't make the team?
No.
I don't make the cut this year?
No.
I'm going to work on it, ladies. And maybe next year I'll have my chance. But maybe by the end of the interview, they'll change their minds and I'll be accepted on one of the teams. All right, so let's talk with some of the ladies here now.
Yeah.
Are all of you ladies first-time players? Were you on the team before? Is this your second time? How does it work? How is it?
Well, this is my second year.
This is your second year?
Second year.
Second year for you.
My first year.
Your first year. And your first year. First year persons, and that would be Margaret and Adana. Right. So Adana Brewster Taylor and Margaret Roberts. What made you ladies decide to get on board this time around? Mike. Yes.
Right. So for me, it was just about the venture, about the experience, having the fun. Nothing more to that. It's just like having fun. You know, I'm used to netball, so that's using the upper part of your body. But with football, you're using the lower part of your body. So I'm now learning to master the art of kicking.
You know, Margaret, I'm not even sure what to say.
So I'm
okay, she's now learning to master the art of kicking.
Of kicking, yes.
Okay. We'll take that. We'll take that.
Yeah, that's
I'll tell you something, viewers. She's not shy in front of the. No, she says that she's shy in front of the camera. We don't believe it. But she is accustomed to being on the other side of the mic. On the other side. Yeah, I'll leave it there. All right, I'll leave it there. Let's talk with Adana. Adana, what made you decide to get on board this year?
Since last year, the first year, I was asked to play. But because I'm not much of a physical being where running and kicking and stuff is concerned, I opt out.
Right.
But I was present.
Right. You were there just to show support.
Yeah, just to show support. Look at the fun of it and say, probably I'll come in this year. Then I decided I ain't coming in, and then I got a phone call and I was actually bullied to come in. I was told you have to be there by Miss Allen.
I was just about to ask, who bullied you, but
Miss Allen.
Thank you for sharing that with the
That you have to be there. I'm not taking no for answer this year, Dana. I am not taking no. You have to be there. You have to be there. I put in you on a team. You're on green team. So I can't say no.
Am I to assume that the colors worn today represent the teams?
Yes.
So these are the 4 teams?
Yes.
Okay, because a colleague of ours here at Tobago Updates walked in here this morning in an orange top and she made mention to me. She said, Ria, you have to find something orange to put on. Now, could you pass me my orange plastic bag there, please, honey?
That's
yeah,
right.
I just need to have. I just need to have. Thank you. I just need to have something orange. But I mean, I'm sorry.
Because you're interviewing 4 colors, so you can't have one color in
No, I understand, but she's from Tobago Updates. She's from Tobago Updates, and Tobago Updates I represent. I love you all. Just need to let you know. Okay, Margaret? I know that. I love you all. But let me ask you, the two ladies who were on... the 2 ladies who were on live television. On live television. The 2 ladies who were on the teams last year, what was the experience like for you? And before you get to that, is this something you initially would have jumped into this type of activity? Somebody say, hey, we're going to do this. Would you have said, yeah, come in and do this? Would you have done this initially?
Well, for me, no. Because when I got the call, I don't know, I couldn't stop laughing because I'm like, what? Football? Me? I said, no, darling, football, you say, I called her back a couple of times and I'm like, it's football, you say,
Football.
So I'm like, no, I would not have. But after I got into training, and it was more of fun, getting to know other people, being out there. It was...
Putting yourself in a space that you never dreamt. So you're breaking some barriers. Right. And what about you?
Right. First of all, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning to the viewers. Orange team, good morning to y'all. Right. For me, it was a wonderful experience. Still is a wonderful experience. One of the things that stood out for me was exercise. The exercise is really good for your body, and Although I was in a lot of pain last year after, but that is small thing.
Right.
You understand? Ronaldo, don't forget. Are repping the number this year. So everybody come out in all the orange. Start to say, guys, orange. We taking it this year.
May I say something?
Yes, yes.
No, I'm listening, huh? I'm listening. But last year, the blue, not orange, blue, because I think we all got knocked out of the first round.
No,
we were in the finals with you.
Okay, well, still, no hard feelings, darling. Blue,
yes.
We took home the trophy and we intend to take it home again this year. Plus the $5,000. I will share with you, right? Don't worry. I will share with you.
Yes, Margaret. Go ahead. Pink team, go ahead. Go ahead, pink team.
All right. So, to the pink, all right, change is inevitable. So, blue had it. Orange probably was a little there. This year, we here. So, we're going home with it.
I got you.
All right, change is inevitable.
Green team, can we hear you?
Green Dragons all the way. Just the name alone says it. Green Dragons all the way. We slay everyone. So blue,
The blue Taliban.
You're losing that trophy.
Good morning to everyone. The blue Talibans.
The blue Taliban.
Say it again.
Where's
the blue
Taliban?
Talibans.
Yes.
We out here. We are present and we are going to.
All right.
Orange team, engine room, you all don't forget. Ronaldo on the team.
Engine room, they're gonna
represent.
When is all of this happening?
It is on Sunday, 17th of September.
Sunday
at
17th.
3 p.m. at
3
Shop
p.m.
Shop background, yes.
From what time?
3 p.m.
All right. So is it that you're calling on your supporters? Second annual plus size. Is it that we're calling on the supporters to come repping the colors of the team that they support?
Yeah.
I hear all you.
Yes, of course.
Again, Green Dragons,
Of
again.
course.
Engine room,
orange engine
Blue
room,
Talibans.
again, blue Talibans.
And Pink Panther.
Pink
It's
Harmony
only
and
green. Green or nothing.
the Pink Panthers. We got you loud and clear. So it's happening. So you see, viewers, Tobago Updates is going to be representing
Representing Huria.
Orange.
The plastic bag will disappear.
Exactly, it's gonna blow away.
Either blue or pink or orange bag will appear, you know.
Ladies, tell me about the sponsors for this event coming up on Sunday.
Okay, our sponsor this year is from the Office of the Prime Minister Sports and Culture Club, the Honorable MP for Tobago West Champaka. They are our title sponsor for this event this year. We are also paying tribute to one of our players who we would have lost earlier or late last year, Quincy and Abraham.
Yes.
So we're going to have a moment of silence for her this year. We would have renamed the trophy to the Quincy Ann Cup this year, and we're just going to lift her up on Sunday. We also have events for the kids, events for the patrons. It's going to be a very good event this weekend. It's also a cooler event, so bring your cooler and come.
Okay.
Yeah.
Food on sale?
Food will be on sale. Yeah.
All right. All right, ladies. I want to give each of them just a very quick opportunity to send a shout out to their team and to their supporters to come on out to the show or to the game on Sunday. All right. But I do know that Tobago Updates is going to be carrying it live. Yes? No? Tobago Updates is going to be carrying it live. We're going to get some footage indeed. As you're going to see what's coming up, you're going to see what's happening for those of you who missed it. And if you're missing it, you're missing a lot. So we're going to start off with the Green Dragons. Green Dragons, your support.
Green team, come out, support all the way. Green Dragons. Let's do this.
Yes, the orange engine.
Orange team, you don't know. We taking the cup, we taking the money, we taking everything. You understand? Big up all yourself. Jabe, Queen B, don't know.
We were originally the Calamity. Last year, we were Calamity. This year, we have just stepped up a little bit, but we are the blue Talibans. And we are going to, without question, without fail, take the trophy, plus the $5,000. And as I said, I'm going to share with you all, so don't feel no how. We out there. So everybody supporting the blue, we are going to be there at 3 p.m. Shore Park on the 17th. Thank you.
Management reserves the right to stay quiet. Thank you.
So all our supporters, let me just say thanks to everyone that supported us thus far. As well, Pink Panthers, you know what happening. We weren't there to the newbies. We weren't there last year. But this year we're here. That of itself says a lot. So all our supporters, we want to say thank you for standing with us. And I know you all will come out in your pink. It doesn't matter, fuchsia, baby, whatever pink it is. And
Pink
as
is
well
pink.
to 91.9, who is also supporting us. See you guys on Sunday.
Thank you for mentioning that. Margaret, very quickly, tell our viewers who you are.
Ria, why you
Go
doing
ahead,
me
Margaret.
that? Ria, why you doing me that?
Straight in, Margaret. Straight in, quick.
Why you
straight
doing
in.
me that, Ria? All right, so who don't know? Magnificent Maggie from 91.9 FM. Bless.
You hear the voice. That's right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Maria. Yeah, that's right. Thank you so much. Viewers, it is coming up this weekend. All right, so you got to be there. Remind us of the location.
Shopper Grounds.
Shopper Grounds from 3 p.m. All right, so come out in your numbers, and there you have it. And they're going to have the Kids Corner as well. It's a cooler event, so bring your cooler and come along. I feel like that's part of a song. Anyway,
Yeah.
bring...
But you gotta do it generic. I don't take no tea.
No, I'm not. No, they pay me to talk, Margaret, not to sing. Not to sing at all. All right. So, ladies, thank you again for being on the program with us. Viewers, you're going to see them in their numbers. Maybe next year I'll train and come again for 2024. Maybe I'll make the cut for the team.
What color?
I don't know.
Orange. Blue.
But I'll be here next year. Viewers, thank you again for joining us today. We want to thank you. We've got GMT coming up with Candace. Just before we go, we're going to head on over into Tobago Notes. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
The OCS Summer Internship Program gave us the opportunity to have our first official job experience.
My responsibilities would vary from the assignments that were assigned to us. However, my main responsibility currently is to contact suppliers who would have registered with procurement and tell them about the new system with the OPR where they are to register online.
My biggest responsibility is to learn and observe, and just complete tasks that I'm given. So for the 2 months since I've been here, I have been a part of various projects. The biggest one was the business registrar, where we go around the island basically and we register the business of the island basically.
Prior to being granted our own responsibilities at the office, We, the interns, got the opportunity to learn new skills and enhance our knowledge in different areas of our studies.
I learned what business could be about because most of the time what I learn in school is sciences. So I never did a business subject or anything like that, so I wasn't aware of what procurement or anything was like that. So when I came to the office and I got into what procurement really meant, I learned a lot of what happens in procuring goods and items for the entire OCS and the THM.
I got a lot of insight about what it means to do economics on like a public sector level. I worked alongside people who actually study what I study, and that's probably the most important thing for me, like learning from them. I learned from, well, he wasn't here, but I was informed a lot about Mr. Perry, who is the head statistician at the department.
We had 2 outings. We went to change all the names on the PCs in the department to make it easier to notify them, or if they have a problem on the network, we could understand who it is and where to go. I learned about the different roles in my degree. A lot of jobs I didn't know I could have done, I could do now, so it helped me, navigate a little better career-wise.
My experience when meeting the Chief Secretary, it was pretty insightful. I major in linguistics and education, and he is a fellow linguist himself. So us sharing that commonality was very intriguing and interesting to hear his thoughts as well as his experience in becoming a linguist. He was very intelligent in his delivery, and he was also pretty interested in getting to know the interns on a more personal level.
We thank all the members and staff of the Office of the Chief Secretary and by extension, the Tobago House of Assembly for sharing this wonderful experience with us. Team OCS, one family, one love.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Welcome to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, your source for current affairs in Tobago, Trinidad, and the region. With the perfect conversations to complement your morning routine, I am Candice Jackson, and let's get started with the news in 90 seconds.
The news in 90 seconds is brought to you by Flow, working for you on Tobago's newest fiber network.
Arrangements are being made to facilitate a meeting between the Prime Minister, the Minister of Works and Transport, the business community, and several other stakeholders. The news came hours after the Tobago Division of the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce called for a meeting with the government to address seepage problems. Tobago's business community has been under strain for the past 3 weeks following a fire in the engine room of the Cabo Star, the vessel responsible for cargo shipment between the islands. The MV Emprendedora was procured as an interim measure. The multi-stakeholder meeting is expected to occur early next week. And now in some crime, a man has been charged with indecent assault in Tobago for an incident allegedly occurring on October 26, 2022. On that day, a 20-year-old woman received a call from the man who picked her up and took her to Signal Hill. There, he allegedly touched her inappropriately. He was placed on $80,000 bail. The accused is set to return to court on October 9, 2023. The investigation was seen by Superintendent Claire Guy Allen and Inspector Miller. And nationally, a High Court Judge, Frank Sipasad, has criticized the justice system's delays and questionable practices. In a recent ruling, he accused the judiciary of hindering the efficient resolution of cases. He cited problems such as a reliance on contract positions, which led to staff turnover and a lack of experienced court staff. CPSAD also condemned the court closures, particularly the sudden shutdown of San Fernando High Court without consulting judges or stakeholders. He called for urgent reforms, emphasizing that meaningful action, transparency, and accountability are needed to improve the dispensation of justice in the country. And that concludes your news in 90 seconds.
Tobago, after freeness is more speed and better TV. Get a free Samsung smartphone and free installation, plus 200 megabits per second, Paramount Plus, and more for only $299 with a select 200 plan from Flow. Visit online at discoverflow.co today.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, viewers. Well, we seem like we're going back to 2017, where we've had so many problems within our space when it comes to the sea bridge problems. One thing for sure that we know is working good is the passenger ferries, but we got to get the cargo situation sorted out. And we know, just to rehash the situation just a little bit, the Cabo Star experienced a fire 3 weeks ago. It's been out of service since. Monday, we had the MV Emprendedora on schedule to try to assist us a little bit. And I say a little bit, and we'll get into that conversation in just a minute. So that's where we're at. Yesterday we had the chamber calling for a meeting with the Minister of Works and Transport and so on. And we actually have some news about that. So joining us on set, we have Mr. Demi John Cruikshank, who is the former president and vice president of the Tobago Division, Vice Chairman, of the Tobago Division of the Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce, as well as Mr. Curtis William online. He's joining us online, and he is the chairman of the Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce. So, good morning and welcome to you both.
Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Curtis, who is online.
Yes.
If he's online as yet. And good morning, Candice. And here we go again, another year.
Another year.
Another year.
So we called yesterday for that meeting with the Minister of Works and Transport, Mr. Rohan Sinanan, and of course the team that can make this happen here for Tobago. Because let's be real, the only people that can make this happen is the cabinet.
Yes, yes. Well, by law, the person who has responsibility for the sea bridge, by law, is the Minister of Works and Transportation. The only person above him is obviously the Prime Minister, right? Under the fifth schedule, the THA has some, under the sixth schedule, the THA has some responsibility for ports. And that is a topic I think the THA should really pick up. Now, as we have this situation, the THA should activate their legal rights as to how they're going to manage the port and the airport situation. It's been something we've been talking about for too long. We have this meeting next week.
And we got confirmation that the meeting is going to happen.
In Tobago, we have confirmation. The minister spoke directly with the chairman. So over the weekend, the details will go through in terms of, we'll go through the details in terms of where the meeting is going to be, what time, what date, and we're going to invite the head or the executive of all the stakeholders, the people who normally would use the vessel, the vendors association, the truckers, the everybody who uses the vessel. We're gonna have them come and send their representative so we can sit down and have a discussion as to the way forward, how we're gonna treat with the cargo situation. As you said in your opening speech, we had a situation where the fast ferries was a problem. We spent a lot of time, and that has been fixed. We have 2 brand new fast ferries. From all reports, they are working very fine. People are happy with the service. They're reliable, so you don't have any problems with them. We did not have too much of a problem with the Cabo Star, but the Cabo Star is also, she's an old vessel. And as you know, when you're going to age, you start getting problems. So this is some of the problems that we're seeing with the Cabo Star. So it's time to swap out with somebody, another vessel, and actually start the conversation in terms of building a vessel for Trinidad and Tobago.
Now, before we get into just some of what needs to be done, we have Mr. Williams online. Good morning and welcome to you, Mr. Williams.
Morning to our viewers on Tobago Updates, and morning to you guys.
Morning, Curtis.
Right. So, I mean, as an interim measure, we have the MV Emprendedora on working, going quick turnovers in terms of loading and unloading and so on. But give me an idea of how has that been working over the last couple of days?
Well, it was just yesterday was the first voyage, and it's pretty smooth, very impressive for us. Now it's on its way back to Tobago on its second voyage, and I guarantee that the business owners, suppliers, etc., will take full advantage of that replacement or stopgap for the time being as the Cabo Star is done for repairs. But I look forward to us taking full advantage of that vessel.
And Mr. Cruikshank, what is the latest information you have on it? Because I know that you might be one of the one of the business people that might have some trucks coming across.
Right. Well, it should be docking up this morning around 9 o'clock. Right. I just spoke to the port. They indicated that the vessel will arrive here at 9, and they're going to turn around that vessel as fast as possible. So it comes up, offload. We had a number of flatbeds coming up, a lot of containers coming up, and we're gonna offload. They have some trucks on it, vans. So we're gonna take off those, try to get it loaded back as quickly as possible to head back to Trinidad, because last night it left about 10:30, and some trucks were left back in Trinidad because obviously you can't take the volume. So we're hoping to go back down to pick up some of those trucks to bring them back up on the next sailing. So it's really a quick turnover period. As soon as the vessel dock up, it loads, come back up the road. It is taking about 10 to 12 hours basically to get to Tobago. So it's a long haul, but we have to make the best of it until by Monday.
Yes.
We hope that the Cabo Star should be back out on the run.
Now, we also know that, at least from speaking to a couple other business people yesterday, that, you know, when the Cabo Star came back, remember the Cabo Star went on dry dock in June?
For 2 weeks.
Right, so there was some restocking that happened in Tobago and some anticipation that he has some things to be disrupted on his system. But for people that, you know, import those long materials like the lumber and the steel and that sort of thing, they have not been able to replenish those stocks since before the Cabo Star went on dry dock. And then we know that the MV Emprendedora is not accommodating those because it can only accommodate, what, the 20-foot containers?
Well, they can't take 40-foot containers. They can't take the longer containers. But again, when you have all this cargo, remember, the Emprendedora is only taking 10% of the capacity of the Cabo Star. So you understand the volume of cargo that comes to Tobago on a daily basis. So on a daily basis, we have about 130 trucks to 150 trucks. This vessel is only taking about 35. So if you have 150 and you're only taking 30, that is just 1/5 of whatever you would take. So you have to understand that, one, you're gonna get some disruptions. We are trying to bring the heavier type cargo, the heavy type cargo, in terms of the lumber, the steel. I saw a lot of steel came in on the first shipment. We're trying to get some cement on the island. We're trying to get some blocks on the island, because I asked the guys to send some pictures in Trinidad. We see some blocks coming up on the flatbed. So we're getting those things back in the island. What should not happen, and Curtis will explain a little more of that, is that we need to have this vessel, the TNT Spirit, back up. Because if the TNT Spirit was up, we would have been able to pull some of these heavier cargo. Curtis has some more information on that, and we hope that that is part of the discussion with the minister.
Yes, Mr. Williams, because I mean, and I really would like you to explain that a bit, because we had a senator here a couple of days ago, and he dismissed the idea that the TNT Spirit could handle those large amounts of cargo. So, I mean, we really need to set that record straight.
Yeah, definitely. And that's part of our primary objective of this meeting with the minister, because we're going to discuss the current state of the inter-island sea bridge, and we identify any pressing issues and challenges that may require immediate attention. Also, we're going to be exploring potential solutions and strategy to enhance the efficiency and the reliability and the sustainability of the sea bridge. So when we look at these things now, Candice, we're going to be exploring all opportunities there and that kind of reliability and efficiency within the sea bridge. And not leaving that alone, we want to look at the comprehensive understanding of the procurement process for the replacement of the cargo vessel, including the timeline and key milestones. Because this is very, very important that we look at these things and address them in that team coming up. And then we want to establish that kind of a framework that involves all stakeholders, because we don't have that framework that involves all of us, including the THE. So we want to look at how we can establish that type of framework coming out from that meeting.
Now, one thing that was interesting that came out of the press conference yesterday was the fact that the last time the Minister of Works and Transport, Rohan Sinanan, met with the Chamber was in 2018. And since then, he has been telling the country that all is well with the sea bridge, they fixed it, they have no issue, the government was the savior, and so on. Why? Why hasn't there been a meeting since 2018?
And those are the things we're going to look at, Candice, as one of our agenda items, because we need to bridge that gap between the central government and the THA and the stakeholders. We ought to have that continuous dialogue to bring efficiency to the island with the inter-island sea bridge. That's the only way we can go forward. So we want to bridge that gap that have been established for some strange reason, and get the all parties in talking together once more again.
Mm-hmm. Let us be thing here. In the past, we had a quarterly meeting with the Port Authority, and if the needs be, we invite the minister. So we want to go back to that arrangement. We have not had that type of arrangement in the present. But in the past, we have, and as the minister said, we have a very good working relationship with the minister and the stakeholders. So this is a committee was led by the chamber. So we want to go back to that. We had COVID, we had people trying to get their businesses started back. Some people in real crap, I must say right now, because they are trying to get their businesses back up. But we need to put back that committee, those meetings back on the table. The THA was part of the discussion. Yes. So the THA would have been involved and knew what is happening. They know what happened in terms of the vessels. Because let me just give a little history. We were part of the cabinet-appointed committee, the chamber, in terms of the acquiring the two fast ferries when we had the whole fiasco in 2017. And in one of the meetings, I remembered quite well. We had the discussion with INCAT and Ostal. And I walked out of the meeting and called a THA administrator. I said, listen, tell me what you think we should get on these fast ferries. Mm. And her words was, Demi, can we have a VIP section on the boat? That was it, eh? And I went back in the meeting and we put on the table, listen, we want a VIP, which is now called the tourist class part of the vessel. So we need to forget about the politics now. This is governance. This is administration. We need to have the chief secretary. We can't be meeting with the minister and not have the chief secretary and his people present. They must come and say, listen, this is what, if the politics, they will take the politics outside of the room. But in terms of the meeting and having things done, we want to say, listen, the THA must be aware of what is happening. And that has worked well in the past, and it's something that we have to go back to. Whatever the bantering with the present THA and the Prime Minister and the Cabinet, that has nothing to do with the business community. What has to do with the business community is to get efficiency. We had a problem in the past, we fixed the fast ferry. Bridgeman came in and we had a cargo star that worked perfect for 6 years. That vessel is not working as we want, so we want it to be changed. So we have to do the process now in terms of getting a new cargo vessel or a replacement cargo vessel, a permanent replacement cargo vessel for the cargo star. And then the discussion has to start in terms of the way forward to getting a new cargo vessel dedicated to Trinidad and Tobago.
Mm-hmm. And then what about the relationship with the Port Authority in terms of, having that TNT Spirit as your backup, whether it's for passengers or for cargo?
We want to hear from the committee. What are the ideas? It may be a cost factor, and we all know it probably is a cost factor why the Spirit is not back into service as yet. But at least let us know what's happening so that we will have a better understanding and we will be able to plan accordingly. So Candice, these are the things that is important, and just as Mr. John, Demi John mentioned, we're looking forward to bring the history back to the fold and let the team understand what transpired then and what could happen today, getting a better understanding. And the THA must be part of it. As indicated, we're not into politics. We into fixing Tobago. We into getting the lives of the residents of this island a bit than it is. And so hence the reason why we want to stay away from the political part and all the bantering, and let's get down to brass tacks and have conversation between the THA and the central government as smooth as possible.
So even if we get a commitment out of the meeting next week that we are going to have a new cargo vessel, what is the timeline looking like before that can be a reality?
The last time we spoke with the manufacturers of cargo vessels, it takes about 18 months to 2 years, basically. From an agreement signing today, it will take you about 18 months to get that vessel in the water and on the way to Trinidad and Tobago. Most of these manufacturers are in Europe, right? So and then it takes the vessel about a month to sail to get down here. What is important in this meeting is that, like Secretary Tasha Boris, she needs to be in a meeting like this because she's the Secretary for Tourism and Culture. So she needs to say, listen, we have this festival in January. We have the young people party, Island Crashers, right? The young people think Island Crashers. We have Heritage Festival. We have the Tobago Carnival. We have Blue Food. So we want double sailings. We want all kind of thing running and double sailings for these festivals. So that is what we want to achieve coming out of this meeting. It's not just about the cargo star. It's about the holistic approach, how we will deal with the sea bridge operating between Trinidad and Tobago.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break, so viewers, please don't go anywhere. We'll be back with Mr. Demi John Cruikshank and Mr. Curtis Williams as we continue to discuss what's going on with our sea bridge.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago.
Somebody just scream, revive us! Revive us!
Glow Nation on Saturday, 16th September. Experience a revival featuring Grammy Award winner Ty Tribbett and his full band. Glowfest, all at Shore Park Complex, Tobago, alongside Ezekiel, Chantel Lindsay, Gates Praise, Mark Isaacs, and Blessed Messenger. Showtime 6 p.m., doors open at 5 p.m. Early bird tickets $200. Group of 10 pay $250 each. General admission $300. At the door $350. Children under 10 free. Tickets available at Shore Park Complex box office. Dominion Appliances, Scipio Trace Canby, Pablo's Supermarket Argyle, Diesel's Tile and Ceiling Center, Bon Accord, Isaac 98.1 FM, Port of Spain.
Lane, Oreo Auto El Socorro, Events at Jewelers Chaguanas, and online at tovatickets.com. For more info, follow Glow Entertainment TT on Facebook and Instagram. On Saturday, 16th September, Sure Park Complex, Tobago. The revival is coming. A praise and worship encounter. Experience the worship. Experience the praise. Glow Fest.
Tobago on Tobago Updates. Viewers, we are continuing our discussions this morning with the chairman of the Tobago Division of the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, Mr. Curtis Williams, who is on with us online. And we have Demi John Cruikshank, the vice chair, who is on with us on set. So I want to get from you guys, what's been the conversations like with the THA in terms of trying to address issues with the Tobago, with the Tobago businesses on the island?
Well, Candice, we had one meeting with the chief secretary months ago, and we're hoping to get a follow-up meeting, and because they are pertinent and important issues that need to be addressed. I know the national budget is the biggest thing on the card now, but we've seen coming to the end of the financial year that some of our business and some of our members and other non-members are a bit struggling with meeting their commitments due to financing. So we want to address that situation about financing and debt owing to suppliers and contractors. We want to get that out the way. Candice, this thing have been bantering around for quite some time now, and let's put it to rest. Let's get all that payment of contractors and suppliers that have been, suffering for the last couple of months into years, and let's move to a next era. Let's take this thing to a next level. And our conversation now could be how we can develop the space, so we can look for direct investment coming into the island. But Candice, we can't go forward knowing that we have all these debts. We can't meet our month-to-month commitments, and the banks is on our backs. Definitely, it's really hard for us.
And Mr. Cruikshank, I guess you could probably even give us another perspective on this. We had that multi-stakeholder meeting about a month ago, was it?
Yeah.
Or a few weeks ago, when the situation on Mount Irvin, when the situation first came about, along with what's been going on the air bridge, because let's not forget, the air bridge is not exactly very efficient right now. But, have we had any more movement where that's a concern in terms of fostering that greater relationship between the THA and the Tobago business community, especially where transportation is concerned between the islands? No,
and that is why we specifically said in that press conference yesterday, we want the Chief Secretary and his team to be part of the discussion. This is not our job, right? Our job is to open our business to make money. The state and the state agencies are the ones who are supposed to provide a reliable service for the business community and the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. That's it. This is not what we're supposed to be doing. It's affecting us. So that is why we are on TV. That is why we are calling on the minister. That is why we are lobbying. We have people who are elected, people who are paid a salary every day by both the THA and the central government to fix these problems. So they should be the ones who invited us to our meeting to find out, not we inviting them to our meeting. And this is a 10 years problem for a long time. As long as I can remember myself in the chamber, this is a problem that we've been having, that we've been running back and forth. And our businesses are in shambles now because we have been doing this for too long. This is not our job. So we're going to be bringing the minister, the chief secretary together, have them kiss, hold hands, and say, listen, you all run this thing, do your job, and bring us into the room when you all find a proper solution. We can give you all the recommendations that the business community want in terms of the vessel, and which you have.
Yes.
I just got a text message, and the THA has technical people who knows about these vessels, right? Among them. So the vessel carries about 65,000 tons on the ramp. So we can take the weight. The specs are there on the ramps. The TNT Spirit can take the thing. If you look at the specification of that vessel was really a military vessel to carry tanks. So if you could carry a tank, you surely could carry a chocker blocks, right? So we have to understand when we have the discussion, we have the technical specs of the vessel.
Yes.
There are some people who is in the THA who knows about that vessel quite well, in the back of their hands. And that is why we're asking the chief secretary, bring along your team. Let me have a discussion. Let the chamber go back to work and sell the products, get the thing, and you and the minister and the other people work out the details of getting a proper vessel. And we will be part of the thing, but we should not be the lead of it. Because when we spend time every day in press conference, in thing, it's since 5:30, Mr. Williams on the radio, I heard his voice this morning, since about 6 o'clock on our program this morning. That is not our job.
Yeah.
Our job is to open up, make some money, pay our loans, and pay our staff at the end of the month, and being able to say, right, business is good in Tobago. I wish one day we can come on this program and say, hey, here what's going on. Candice, things so good in Tobago, things working right or wrong. You have to come to that position. And the people who can make that is the people in authority.
Now, what's interesting is that throughout this whole fiasco, whether it be on the sea bridge, whether it be on the air bridge, we have our Tobago ministers, we have our Tobago senators, those people in government actually defending what's been going on, and not seeming to want to listen to concerns.
Candice, what we see is the connection between the politician and the people. We are the business owners. We are like the people, and these politicians need to connection. Our representative to be East and West, even our good list senator, and all these representatives who from Tobago who sits in the parliament, they need to bridge that gap. They need to get connected to the people, the small man and the business owners. Definitely speaking about. These folks have been disconnected for some time, so hence the reason why the conversation don't sound like if it's all inclusive. Hence the reason why we're asking these representatives to bridge the gap and meet with the people. I can't tell last when the representative asked to meet with the chamber, and the same thing Mr. Krupshan mentioned. Candice, we are just a lobby group that's trying to seek the best interests for the people of Tobago and the business community. We are not paid for this. And there are people who have been paid taxpayers' money that engage the stakeholders like ourselves, the Tobago division of the chamber and other stakeholders within the space, and get that meaningful dialogue going forward. But we see that we have to engage them, but we pay them. And that's a big problem, Candice. That need to be bridged, and they need to get to reality, come on the ground, understand what's happening on the ground, and they will have a better sense of going forward.
All right. Well, I guess that's how we're going to have to end it. I don't know if Mr. Cruikshank, you want to say anything as we're wrapping up this morning?
No, I think we had a good part. I think it was a good press conference yesterday. I think the chamber has done what the chamber is supposed to do. And we leave it to the powers that be when they come to the table whenever next week. We will say, hey, the floor is open to you all. Make the decisions, do what you have to do for the betterment of the citizens of Tobago and also the business community, especially the business community.
Yes, because of course, without a strong private sector, things do not look so good for the economy of Tobago.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to thank you both for being on with us and for having that conversation with us. And of course, viewers, we are going to be continuing to follow this situation, especially with that meeting next week. Tobago Updates is going to have you covered. So we're going to take a quick break and come back with some more conversations. So don't go away.
Rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise. The energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong and the vibes is never.
So your car break down.
Oh no, not again.
And you're worried paying a wrecker could mean a pocket breakdown too. But when you're insured with Tatil, no stress.
Yes!
A Tatil motor policy has lots of benefits that protect your pocket, like free roadside assistance. That's free 24/7 every time, as many times as you need. Tatil, where people are people. A member of the Ansa McAl Group.
Mount Pleasant Credit Union present the Edgar Davidson Bursary Awards 2023. Awards available are SEA, CSEC, and Cape. Tertiary, technical and vocational. Your requirements are complete the application form, student's performance report, or transcript. Applicants must be a member or a member whose child wrote an exam in 2023. Forms are available via our website or can be collected at our branch office. For further information, www.mpcutobago.com, marketing at mpcutobago.com, or call us 639-8902 or 8375. Deadlines for submission 15th of September 2023.
Yeah. Hey.
Tobago updates.
Na, 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 na.
Good morning, Tobago.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. Viewers, we are switching our conversations now away from what's going on in the Sea Bridge to what's going on here in Tobago. Now, we know food security is always a major concern, and I mean, there's so many challenges in trying to figure out how do we build food security for Tobago. And one of those challenges is something called the giant African snail. And we are experiencing some breakouts right now within our space, and that is actually putting a strain on our farmers. To speak to us a little bit about that, we have been joined by the Secretary of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development, Mr. Teacher Charles Panton. So a special good morning and welcome to you.
A special good morning to you, Candice. A special good morning to Tobago.
All right, so give us an idea what's been happening with the giant African snail and how much is that affecting the work of farmers at this point in time?
Well, Trinidad basically lost the battle with the giant African snail. And we are trying our best to sensitize the public to get involved in the campaign. And that is why I am here, so that we don't fall into the same situation that is happening in Trinidad. Right? The giant African snail, it is a pest on the island. And the trick about it is that everyone think they know how to get rid of a pest, right? So the first instinct is to kill it, but it is the how to kill it. That's the problem, right? So you're supposed to first confine it, right, in a bucket, and then you put a bleach solution, bleach with water, bleach with salt for 24 hours, and discard of it by burning after the 24 hours, right? The reason why we are telling you, please don't step on it, please don't just randomly throw salt on it, please don't, try to destroy it out there in the wild, because what happens is that it releases 50 to 500 eggs automatically because it becomes traumatized. And that is the reason why
we have
we're
a shot of the
having-
eggs. I think we could go back to the picture with the eggs there.
Correct. And this is what it looks like, right? And you are thinking, okay, if I just throw
That's a
some
lot of
salt
eggs.
outside, then I could kill it. But no, you're actually assisting the giant African snail in reproducing, because it releases all of its eggs into the soil automatically once it's traumatized.
So give me an idea of how destructive this snail is. What exactly does it do to our vegetation?
The giant African snail eats almost everything, right? And I mean almost everything. Now, I think it's up to 500 plants. So you could just imagine if whatever you have in the back of your yard, it will eat it. And it goes beyond that. It actually eats material, when infrastructure material. Yes, so like
concrete?
sand and yes, it does. It does destroy surfaces. Yeah. So we're trying our best to contain whatever comes up on the boat in terms of material. So sometimes the sand will come up and you have giant African snail, so we'll sanitize the hardware and do what we have to do to ensure that we contain the giant African snail. So that is why we're doing a call to the general public to please get involved in all the snail collection activities that we have been doing in the 8 sites. Yeah? Do not assume that, or just leave it up to the technical officers under agriculture. This is a sort of pest that requires you to come out and ensure that it doesn't spread, right? You have a responsibility here. And it's just like COVID. Remember when we went through the whole COVID issue, right? We had our personal responsibility to make sure that we take care of ourselves and to prevent transmit of COVID to others. It's the very same thing with pests. Yeah, we have to ensure that we prevent an outbreak, especially around our premises, so that it doesn't go onto people's farms. Yeah.
Now, what about in terms? Okay, how can people actually be getting involved with the eradication program? When, where, all of those details.
So on the Division of Food Security page, right, weekly we post out the schedules. Right, so when the officers would come in the different areas to do collection. And the reason why we post it out is to ensure that the residents have an idea of when we're going to come to your area to do the collection, right? We have been putting the notifications in people's mailboxes, and we have been trying that. We're also going to engage that mobile unit to go across communities very soon to hand out flyers. So that, to be vigilant, because we don't want the idea is not to make, to anticipate an outbreak and then we try to control. The idea is to prevent the spread. So you have to be vigilant before it gets into your premises. So let's try to control what we have and to prevent the spread coming onto other areas.
How much have we collected, destroyed so far? Do you have that quantified? Do you have that data at all, or?
What I can tell you is that we have exceeded 3,000 at a time in each area. Yeah.
Wow.
So, and we have started this some months before. So, and there are some situations that are allowing us to, that are preventing us from doing our job successfully. So sometimes when we cordon off areas, people still driving their vehicles on these areas and cutting the grass and putting it in the back of their vans to feed animals. right? And
Wait. So they're using the snails as food for...
No, actually, they're using the grass as fodder,
right.
as food. But if you drive your vehicle onto the site, then chances are you're going to carry the eggs onto another site. Yeah, so that's the problem. So when we cordon off areas, we're asking farmers, please do not go and cut the grass in these areas because you will be contributing to the spread. And the giant African snail, it also carries the rat lungworm, and that is responsible for causing meningitis. So it's harmful to human health as well. So we're trying our best to contain the spread. And it involves you, it involves me. As I said, Trinidad has already lost the battle. We have a port of entry here. So we are trying our best. We approved the creation of a task force. So as time rolls on, you will see more and more efforts being introduced to prevent the spread of the giant African snail. And for World Food Day, that's okay. For World Food Day, we decided to separate the horticulture aspect from World Food Day, right? To ensure that, we treat all the plants that are going to come to the horticultural show before it goes out to the public. Right? So the necessary steps have been taken. I know people are asking why we moved the World Food Day from the parade grounds. Among all the reasons, the Friendsfield area, that is also a site for the giant African snail. And sometimes people want to park on the grass and they want to do what they want to do and ignore the police directions and all of that. But they don't understand that if it gets on your tire, you can transmit the eggs somewhere else. Yeah? So in order to contain and to control a lot of things, we decided to move it to the Shore Park Food Hub and to separate the horticulture part of World Food Day so that we control what comes to the horticultural show.
How much can this situation destroy, undo the effort you are making in terms of trying to establish a strong food security base here in Tobago?
Well, I'm hoping that we are vigilant right now, and we are aware that it can eat anything and everything. So we don't want to say that it will destroy everything, but it would cost you to eradicate the giant African snail because you'd have to buy the bleach solution. You'd have, there are a lot of things involved in the whole process. And just seeing these snails crawling everywhere on your premises could just crawl your skin. I could tell you that, yeah? However, I recently watched an interview where someone was saying everything we're saying is just negative about this snail. What I heard recently is that some chefs, they have been trying to prepare the giant African snail in a form that people will love it. So I guess they're hoping that people will love it so much that they will capture it and eat it, and that will control the numbers. Yeah? Some persons also ask why we don't introduce its natural predator. So there are two, and that's another good recommendation, except you cannot tell a possum, just release an opossum and tell him, you just feed on the snails. It doesn't work like that. Just like you have a diet and a preference, right? Animals, they have diets and preferences, yeah? So, so you have to think, logically, and the logical answer would be we have to be vigilant to prevent the spread, ensure that you understand the rules, right? If you're living in a zone, you get the bait, right? Make sure you put the bait under your tires at night, right? So that when you leave from that site, then you wouldn't be transferring the eggs to another site. If you do come upon the snails, make sure you have on your gloves, right? And you capture it, you confine it, contain it, you throw the salt bleach solution with water, leave it for 24 hours, and then you burn it. That way it would not, be reproduced into the wild. So, yeah. So we have the responsibility to prevent the spread.
Now, when it comes to, establishing the business sector in Tobago for agriculture, I know that's been a challenge for a long time. And each crop, it seems, even if we go back to coconut, to citrus, all these things, there's lots of diseases that are prevalent and so on within the space that are making it a little bit challenging for our farmers to properly to grow enough. So how are we treating with a lot of these other issues that are within the space?
So we have been having consultations across Tobago, how to control pests, right? And let me stop to say that. That is why when I took this job up, I said that agriculture is a science and a business. And once you understand that it is a science, then our responsibility as a division is to give you the technical advice on how to grow crops, how to rear livestock, how to transfer those genetic traits in both soil science, how to bring you towards success. So that is why agriculture is a science. You would be wasting money if you don't understand, the science behind agriculture. You'll be wasting money and you'll be wasting time. And let me use an example, the Poultry Contract Farm Initiative. That is why we started out giving farmers the 100 birds, then we increased to 500. All of that was a pilot to ensure that they got the technical aspect, the scientific aspect perfected. And now you have thousands of chickens on the island, given the inter-island ferry woes. We now have chicken on the island because of that science that, that was introduced into poultry farming. Yeah? So that is why we encourage persons to understand that agriculture is a science and a business.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. And we're going to come back with our conversations with the Secretary, because we're not done yet talking about agriculture as a business and as a science, most importantly, because, of course, it's all about building a food security for Tobago to sort of deal with some of the challenges, the other challenges that we are facing on the island. So don't go anywhere.
We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun, we are beaches, we are rivers.
There's a new date for Tobago Swim Fest, September 17th, 2023. Come and witness the main event, the 4-kilometer swim from Pigeon Point to Buku Point. More than $25,000 in prizes. It's a family affair, so come out from 11 a.m. on the beautiful Buku Beach. There'll be swimming races, sandcastle building, and seafood on sale. Come and enjoy a fun day at the beach. Calling swimmers from Crown Point to Charlottesville. Registration on the day.
October will never be better with Tobago Carnival fever. Book your passage and come on over.
Yeah. Hey.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, because we are continuing our conversations this morning with the Secretary of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development, Mrs. Natisha Charles Panton, as we talk about agriculture as a business and as a science. So before we went to the break, we were talking about just the way we're building out the poultry initiative. And we had a conversation yesterday, I think it was, with Mr. Ricardo Alfred from TADCO, saying that, it's been quite successful so far. The pilot project has been quite successful. And I know there's a goal. There's a goal as to how much chickens are we want to produce here in Tobago for consumption, and what's that goal?
250,000 per month, right? That's the goal. And I want to say that we have to start thinking about agriculture more than just, being a home garden. As a matter of fact, what we have been speaking about at the division is how to separate the thinking and the services that we offer at the division, so that persons who fall into the category of being a home gardener, the conversation would be different for you, as opposed to a person who wants a farm, for commercial reasons. Yeah, the conversation would be different for you, right? So we are trying to tailor our services in the division to fit the needs of the stakeholder. Yeah, and understanding business and understanding all those steps that you need to take in order to qualify for grants, for incentives, and for funding, whether it is nationally, locally, or internationally. All these things need to be taught so that we can build out the agricultural sector successfully.
And as you touched on funding, we know that through organizations like the IDB and so on, there is actually quite a lot of grant funding available for farmers in particular. But there are certain things that farmers need to do to be able to get those grants and access to that funding.
Yes. So we are having that conversation about building out an agribusiness center. What we have now is an incentives unit, right? It has a basic function, right? But we want to build out an agribusiness center to mentor associations and the individual farmer, because we have the responsibility to the individual farmer, right? That they would be able to access these services and qualify, right? I wish that my division had, unlimited amounts of money to give every farmer. I don't, right? And because we don't have the funding, or even the division, we have been reaching out to different agencies so that we can get funding to execute some of our projects. And I said to myself, we have to do the same for our stakeholders. We have to ensure that they also have access. And I made a commitment that I would not politicize food in the beginning, and I have not politicized it, right? I intend to go forward, understanding that in a crisis, all of us will feel the pinch if we don't get on board with these food initiatives. And I'll tell you something, the livestock sector has been non-existent. As a matter of fact, I've been visiting some farms, and I can tell you, they have the knowledge, but what they don't have is capacity. So even if we are thinking about providing services to a market, we cannot do it with one farmer having 6 sheep or 6 goats. We're looking for numbers, yeah? So we have started to look for markets for livestock, and we are going to host a lamb fest, and that is one of the initiatives towards creating a market. Traditionally, we don't use mutton. Lamb is not, we don't say, all right, I'm going to cook lamb this Sunday for lunch, lamb and pie. That is not something, So we are trying to show people how lamb can be prepared in different ways, right? To give you that taste. And I can tell you, I sent someone at Smokehouse, that Orange Hill Wim Link Road. And, she turned to me and she said, what do you think I should buy, the pork? I said, no, well, I love pork ribs, yeah? But I said, no, try the lamb. And she was blown away. She was totally blown away. So I'm encouraging persons to come to the Lamb Fest October 8th and be equally blown away, right? Because we will have lamb prepared in different ways. As we speak, we have a master butcher training, showing farmers how to do the specialty cuts of lamb and different animals. Yeah, so we're working towards improving the livestock sector.
And what about in terms of artificial insemination and those initiatives that I think they've been struggling to properly get started and established within our space?
Yes, so we have been working with the Cubans, doing the embryonic fertilization, but with every step you need particular equipment and, So we signed on the project, but, as I said, agriculture is a science.
Yes.
And you need the resources, to execute the science successfully, yeah? So we have been partnering with them. They came on the island just a few months ago, right? They did an assessment of what we would need in order the project to be complete. So we have been working with them to ensure that we improve the genetic, aspect of livestock. improve the quality on the island.
And we know that Tobago sheep, they go for big money in Trinidad.
They go for big money in Trinidad, yeah. And we want to, I don't want to say we want to stop it from going Trinidad. We don't have the numbers right now to market to Trinidad. But we want to first cover our needs in Tobago by increasing the numbers that the farmers have on the island. So much so that we can supply the entire Caribbean region.
Cool. And now, I mean, as we continue to talk about agriculture as a science, there's also the tissue culture lab that I know had some challenges.
Yes, and we have been recognizing the tissue culture lab a lot over the past year because they have been doing an excellent job at providing planting material, not only for the private farmer, but for the government farms as well. So they're doing an excellent job. As a matter of fact, we're looking into building out the herbs and spices that they started already. They already started, and I'm impressed by the work that they're doing up there. So you will see a lot more happening in that area as well. And I'll tell you something, Tobagonians traditionally, we love herbs.
Yes.
We do. As a matter of fact, if you just sneeze, somebody telling you, oh, go and take some Bacano, or, so we always have a remedy for something, right? And we should not waste the knowledge that we have on the island. As a matter of fact, all these medication that we take in, it comes from somewhere. It comes from the plants that we have. So let's try to come together and prevent the spread of the giant African snail to begin with, because we have a lot of plants on the island, especially our forest reserve that we depend on so that we can get a reliable source of water, right? We need to protect our resources on the island, because once you see we have an outbreak of that giant African snail, it eats everything. So we need to come on board. And that is why you see I'm saying I'm not politicizing agriculture at all, because I understand that once you see our land resources have been destroyed, whether it's by pests or by, indiscriminate dumping and waste and mismanagement and all of that, then we all will feel the pinch of, not doing the right thing. Yeah?
Now, and then as we're going to get ready to wrap up the conversation, what are the main points of focus for agriculture for the next few years in terms of what crops we want to see, what livestock we want to see coming out of Tobago, I mean, on a large scale?
So, Tobagonians, we have a lot of knowledge on how to grow many different crops. And we don't want to box people into growing a particular crop, except it be for commercial purposes. So I can tell you that we're going into chicken because it's the cheapest source of protein. We're going into livestock, sheep and goat. We're going to mixed crops like onions, hopefully carrots very soon, because we want to reduce imports by 25% by 2025. So we're hoping that we can achieve that goal by growing exotics. And we also going to do the traditional leafy vegetables because we can do those, hydroponics and different, right, using the different technologies to grow plants. So we don't want to box anyone in. But I want farmers to understand that, and I'm just addressing the wild notion that the division's supposed to buy everything, just like our marketing board used to be. But marketing board shut down for a reason, right? You must have a market before you can sell your goods.
Yes.
And it wouldn't be different for the division. It wouldn't be different for Talco or any entity in the space. You must have a market first, right? If we buy everything possible that a farmer can plant without a market, what will I do with it, right? So therefore, the first step is to identify the market, because we're talking about production. Then you have processing. So it's not enough to say I'm producing X, but I need to process it up to standard. Yes, I'm growing it within a particular standard, processing it and preparing it at a particular standard, and then distributing it and keeping it in a particular international standards. Yeah. Because the idea is that we're not thinking, just Tobago and what we can, trade here. But we must adhere to standards so that we can export. So we have three things to consider. I want farmers to understand that you must production, processing, distribution. So marketing, finding that market is important. And then we're going to go into the root tubers, the chickens, the livestock. Once you have a market, the pigs, because we all have been working to build out the different markets for these produce. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So once there's a market for your melongen, then melongen would be on the agenda. Right? That is how we're doing it. So we're not just going to do it any ad hoc way. Right? We're going to follow the process, the science, and transform our businesses, our commercial farmers. Yeah.
All right. I want to thank you so much, Mr. Tisha Charles Ponting, for giving us a perspective on agriculture. A very needed conversation as we try to figure out how we should improve the food security in Tobago.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right, great. Well, viewers, it was a pleasure being with you this morning. So I just hope you have a very safe and wonderful day, and we will see you again tomorrow.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago.
Now and forever. Amen. We sit for the ministry of the word, beginning with the Old Testament reading.
A reading from the Word of God, written in Isaiah chapter 28, verses 16 to 19. Therefore, thus says the Lord God, see, I am laying in Zion a foundation stone, a tested stone, a precious cornerstone, a sure foundation. One who trusts will not panic, and I will make justice the line, and righteousness the plummet. Hail will sweep away the refuge of lies, and waters will overwhelm the shelter. Then your covenant with death will be annulled, and your agreement with Sheol will not stand. When the overwhelming scourge passes through, you will be beaten down by it. As often as it passes through, it will take you. For morning by morning, it will pass through, by day and by night, and it will be sheer terror to understand the message, the word of the Lord.
The Psalm.
Psalm 118, verses 21 to 29. I thank you that you have answered me and have become my salvation. The stone that the builders rejected has become the chief cornerstone. This is the Lord's doing. It is marvelous in our eyes. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Save us, we beseech you, O Lord. O Lord, we beseech you. Give us success. Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord. We bless you from the house of the Lord. The Lord is God, and he has given us light. Bind the festal procession with branches up to horns of the altar. You are my God, and I will give thanks to you. You are my God, and I will extol you. O give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, for his steadfast love endures forever.
The epistle.
Again, a reading from the Word of God written in Philippians chapter 2, verses 5 to 11. Let the same mind be in you that was in Christ Jesus, who, though he was in the form of God, did not regard equality with God as something to be exploited, but emptied himself, taking the form of a slave, being born in human likeness and being found in human form. He humbled himself and became obedient to the point of death, even death on a cross. Therefore God also highly exalted him and gave him the name that is above every name, so that at the name of Jesus every knee should bend in heaven and on earth and under the earth, and every tongue should confess that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God. The sequencing. Gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ according to Matthew. Glory to Christ our Savior. Jesus said, everyone who hears these words of mine and acts on them will be like a wise man who built his house on the rock. The rains fell, the floods came, and the wind blew and beat on that house, but it did not fall, because it had been founded on the rock. And everyone who hears these words of mine and does not act on them will be like the foolish man who built his house on the sand. The rains fell and the floods came and the winds blew and beat against the house, and it fell, and great was its fall. Now when Jesus had finished saying these things, the crowd were astonished at his teaching, for he taught them as one having authority and not as a scribe. This is the gospel. Heavenly Father, we come to you today to give you thanks. We come to you today to worship you in the beauty and the splendor of holiness. We come to you to remember the sacrifice you paid on the cross for us. We come to you today to give you thanks for in succeeding generation, new every morning is your love, great is your faithfulness. that you continues to be our cornerstone. You have built a foundation stone in Zion, a stone which cannot be removed. And Father, we pray that your words may enrich and enliven our heart, that we may continue to be like the man who built his house upon the rock. This we pray in no other name but in the matchless and mighty name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Kindly be seated. When I choose these readings along with the theme of Christ continues to be our cornerstone for this, our Founders Day service. I had no idea